and people will learn. All right. So shalom and welcome. We are delighted to be partnering with Mizrahi organization in Melbourne today, and together to bring you what will be very interesting meeting. My name is Lital Slonim. Some of you might know me from my visit to Australia or your visit to Israel. For those who don't, I just want to share a few words. For more than 17 years, I have been actively involved in the Nahala movement. I am a civil engineer, a mother of 3 lovely children, and leading activists to promote a settlement in Yehuda and Shomron. As part of this, I have visited Australia a few times. Nahala movement was established in 2005 in the wake of the disengagement from Gush Katif and Northern Shomron. Since then, Nahala has been working to strengthen the Jewish people within its homeland with an emphasis on Yehuda and Shomron, the heart of Israel. The support of the Jewish communities all over the world is vital for us to maintain and strengthen our stronghold on Eretz Israel. Our mission is to change government policy and to give it the strength and backing to once again build in Yehuda and Shomron. We are working in order to establish new Yeshuvim and township in Yehuda and Shomron, to create core groups of young people and families whose aim is to create new settlement, new Yeshuvim. We deal with land redemption in Yehuda and Shomron, education, the youth about our connection to our homeland. We also are an ex-parliamentary lobby, both in Israel and diaspora, promoting Yehuda and Shomron. It is my pleasure to call upon our very good friend, Dr. Danny Lam, AM, who, through his many important public roles for the Jewish communities, has advanced the relationship and standing of the Australian Jewish community with Israel. Danny, please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Okay, shalom everybody. I've just spent the day at a conference of the Zionist Federation of Australia, and one of the discussions was about advocacy and promotion and having the confidence to be able to represent Israel appropriately. My job tonight is to introduce Danny Danon. Is Danny there, Lital?
He will soon be, yes.
No, he's now entering. He sent me a message that he's connected.
No, he asked, then he asked if Danny is here. He's supposed to appear on the screen any minute.
Any minute.
Any minute. You'll see.
Tonight, I'll just fill in a little bit. Tonight, after this event, I'm speaking for a Christian group, about 150 people. And the Christians know, they know their sources, and they know that Avraham Avinu bought Marat HaMachpelah, Hebron, and Yaakov bought land around Shechem, where we have Kevi Yosef, and David HaMelech bought Har HaBayit and the lands around. So they understand that we have existing ownership rights in Yehuda v'Shomron. And yet we still have to argue not only to the world, but to our own people about the importance of Yehuda v'Shomron. Now, Danny Higata.
Yeah, so we have Danny Danon with that.
So my job is to introduce you. So in the invitation that was sent by Lital and Yedidia, the bio for Danny appears. His leadership of World Likud, Chaver Knesset, Shagir Yisrael, and what it didn't say there was he was the world head of Beitar, which is a bit of my background too. But that's just on the paper. I want to give you a personal experience in relation to Danny. Lital started talking about the establishment of Nahala after the disengagement, the Hitnatkut from Gush Katif. Several weeks before the date of the Hitnatkut, the government decided to close off access to the area about 4 weeks before. Nevertheless, Danny Danon took me and some friends 2 weeks before the Hitmatkut. We went to the Gush Katif. He managed to bypass the security, and we went in there and we went to visit 21 yeshuvim that existed there. That was the commitment. Of course, for me, it left a lasting memory of what we had and what we stupidly gave away because of Prime Minister Shomron. However, it also taught me about the commitment of Danny, that he was prepared to make this effort to take some people from Chutz La'aretz, and I wasn't alone, to go and see this. The same thing applies today in Yehuda Shomron. We are firmly committed to not leaving an area in Yehuda Shomron. And I think with the return of Danny to the Knesset and hopefully into a successful electoral result, I'm leaving in Israel for Israel tomorrow. We arrive on election day. And I hope that not long afterwards we see a successful result, that we have a government that will protect Yehuda Shomron and, in fact, make the decisions that are necessary to include it as part of Medinat Israel. So without any further ado, I'd like to call on my friend Danny to address us.
Thank you very much, my dear friend Danny Lam. The story you mentioned, I recall it, and we did a lot of great things for the people of Israel, and we will continue to do great things. I want to thank David Adler, my dear friend Daniela Weiss. I see in front of me many friends from the Yehuda Shomron and many friends from Australia, and we share the same ideas, the same ideology, the same love to the land of Israel. And when I arrived to the UN, I brought that love to the whole of the UN. That's why I was so successful, because I was not apologetic about our rights to the land. And I think that's crucial, because many times people try to apologize about the Jewish communities, about our presence. And I came with a new approach, and I called it the loud and proud. We are loud and we are proud of our presence, of our heritage, and also of our religion. And I found out that putting our religion in the front line is very effective. And I know that you in Australia, you met many of our ambassadors, and we are very good diplomatic corps of Israel, but many times they try to put the religion aside. And I did exactly the opposite. And I want to share with you a story during one of the debates in the Security Council about the communities in Judea and Samaria. They call it settlements, I call them communities. I put my kippah and I started to read from the Bible about the rights we have for the land. And I told them, and I told the Palestinian representative, now it's your turn to prove me wrong. I just show you the deed to our land. Maybe you have something you can show us about your rights to the land, to Judea and Samaria, to Jerusalem. And he was speechless. And I was shocked, because after the speech, actually a Muslim ambassador approached me and told me that he actually admired what I said, quietly, he told me. And he wanted to meet with me and to learn more about our rights to the land. So it proved me that we have to change the approach. Not, I know Daniela for many years, and I admire you, Daniela, for the great work and inspiration you give to so many generations. But I think it should be the government of Israel that will actually be proud and loud about our presence in Judea and Samaria. And we have to do it in all capacities. I want to share with you another story. You know that the best way to get people closer to your ideas is to get closer to them personally. So every Shabbat, me and my wife, Tali, we hosted different dignitaries for a Shabbat dinner in our apartment in Manhattan. And we stayed there for 5 years. So we hosted, hundreds of people, Baruch Hashem. And one Shabbat, I hosted the Secretary General of the United Nations. And I actually introduced him to a great bottle of wine. And he knows a lot about wine because he's from Portugal. And after we finished the dinner, I told him, that the wine you liked so much, it comes from Rechelin, from Yekev Torah. And he told me, listen, don't get me into trouble. but he admitted that we have great wine also in Yehuda Shomron. And I think we should tell the story about the past, about the present, but also about the future. And the future is important for the people of Israel in terms of where they will live. You know, the cost of living in Australia is very high, but believe it or not, it's even more expensive to buy an apartment in Tel Aviv than in Melbourne or Sydney. So the future is in Judea and Samaria for the people of Israel, and we have to start to plan and to speak about it. I want to take this opportunity first to thank you, our brothers and sisters abroad. I know that you are so connected to Israel. I am very happy, Danny, that you come. And I know many of you are coming after COVID. You know, it was so hard for you not to come to Israel for so many years. And we will welcome you. Also, I want to thank the pioneers, you know, those young fellows from Nahala who are doing an amazing job, amazing commitment. And, you know, I always, when I speak about them, I call them the new Trumpeldors of Israel. Because when you read the story of Trumpeldor, his commitment to go and live somewhere and to fight for his ideas. And when you look at the map of Israel today, you realize that because of the commitment of Trumpeldor and his friends, we have Kiryat Shmona, Metula, and the northern part of the Galilee. And in the future, it will be the same. Wherever you will have presence of the Jewish communities, that's where it will be part of our land. So we have to continue with the great work. I was actually in the Shomron on Friday. I had a tour there, and I was very worried to see the illegal building of the Palestinians. And unfortunately, under this current government, the illegal building in Area C is 80% more than it used to be. And it was high from the beginning. So we should do more. We should support the great work of Daniela and Tnuat Nahala. And I hope that we will win in 2 days. We work very hard, and I can assure you that, you know, in whatever capacity that I will be, you know, and I proved it when I was the MK, Deputy Minister of Defense, Ambassador to the UN, in every capacity I will stay committed to our brothers and sisters in Yehuda Shomron, and we will do our best to make sure that we have more communities and more Jewish families in Eretz Israel. So Daniela, toda rabba for everything that you do. Thank you, my friend.
May I give you Danny, may I give you a compliment?
Sure.
Why not? I saw your service in the UN as a turning point, because it's the first time that we have a real Israeli, proud, open, not speaking like hiding things, but speaking openly and proudly of Zionism, and also of Yehuda and Shomron. So I want to thank you personally. I remember the days we met here in Shomron, and I follow you to the high stage in the UN, and I am so proud of you being so proud of being a real Israeli. Kol hakavod. And we work very hard that the Likud wins. I want you to know, very hard.
Be'ezrat Hashem.
Danny, thank you, good friend.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Shalom, shalom.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you very much. It's really important for us, like also Daniela mentioned now, that you remain in the Likud and continue to support the settlement of Eretz Israel. You're doing an amazing job, and we wish you great success in the election now, and to all of us. And we do hope that you will be a minister in the upcoming government and will hold a portfolio that will boost the development of Yehuda and Shomron. So thank you.
Let's decide what minister we want Danny to be.
We can decide now. Definitely, this is the right place, the right platform.
The most influential group for this cause.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I would like to welcome you, Daniela White, that she's with us. She is the director of Nachalav movement. She was an active member of Gush Emunim, mayor of Kdumim, the first issue in the Shomron. While Daniela was a mayor of Kdumim, it grew so much that it became an independent town, no longer under the umbrella of the local council. Daniela is one of the greatest powerhouses behind the development of Yehuda and Shomron. Daniela has a very clear understanding of the political field in Israel. She will explain how the settlement movement influenced the election and how the election result will affect the settlement movement. Daniela.
Okay. Shalom, everybody. Again, I was thinking how to make it center logically and politically on a specific point in history that we are here now. Tomorrow we are going to vote. I assume, well, I don't know, most of the people here participating in this meeting are not going to vote, but I'm speaking about us who are going to vote and friends from the settlement and from the state of Israel in general. Now, there are three ways by which we can approach the coming elections. First of all, I want you to know, in general, there is much tension, a lot of tension. I see even on the faces of the members of my family and telephone calls that I got this morning, realizing that we are really facing a crucial moment. Now, some people say jokingly, every time we say that this is the most crucial, the most influential, the most important, but it is indeed a very important moment in Zionism and history, in politics. This is why I said to myself, and now I'm saying to you, that I would like to analyze three different approaches. And while preparing for meeting with you, I wrote down the names of the prime ministers that I personally worked with, met, exchanged ideas with, and influenced, and they influenced me. But I think that more than they influenced me, I came with a strong agenda, and they had to maneuver between different political parties. I was working with Rabin, with Peres, with Begin, with Shamir, with Sharon, with Netanyahu under Obama, when Obama was president, when Trump was president, and now when Biden is president of the United States. So I have really, when I think of it, experience like of 100 years in politics. It's a lot. When I think of meetings with Rav Levinger, with Rabin, and then with Shimon Peres, and then all this long row. So I cannot say easily, but in a bright picture tell you that there are three options. One can take results of elections in a very, I would say, I'm looking for a word better than dramatic, in a very, when it's not, when the results are not exactly what we wanted, then it might be even despair. I remember, I didn't mention Barak. I met all of them. Barak was prime, Ehud Barak was, and also Olmert. Oh boy, I get older from 1 second to the other. So we were meeting with Olmert and we were meeting with Barak, Ehud Barak. I remember when the left were in government, there were moments of despair. Another option is to like say, what can we do? This is what we have. With this we live, and we'll see. And another option is to approach their results with enthusiasm and with decision. We take what we have and we will elicit the utmost out of it. So I can tell you, and well, Lital limited me to a short lecture. So Lital, when I have the last 5 minutes of your,
I will.
you'll do like this, because I can really start from Rabin and Peres, and come to the present day of today we have Gantz. No, now we have Lapid. So I met Lapid and I met Gantz and all of this. So when you have this 5 minutes, stop me. Otherwise, it will take 2 days because it's really a long political history. I want to tell you, friends, that we always adopted of the 3 options: despair, the mild way, and the enthusiastic way. We always adopted enthusiasm. God gave us a chance through the difficulty to come to a big success, even to a victory. We adopt the pasuk, Et Sarai leYaakov, mimena yivasha. From the trouble, from the difficulty, we will get stronger. And I hope, as Danny Danon just mentioned, and as Daniel Lem referred to, that the right wing will win and that Netanyahu will be prime minister and the religious party will be massive, and also Shas and Aguda, and we'll have a strong right wing government. And we are working very hard for this. I wouldn't go into details, although this in itself is an interesting thing. But I do want to explain to you, dear friends, the logic of the inner decision, which becomes a practice, not to go on despair, no matter what the results are, not to remain apathy, but just adopt the situation with full might and elicit the utmost out of it. Up till now, it worked. Even under Rabin, even under Peres, even at the time of Ehud Barak, you know, we even say, not only us, even the left side, the media, they say that they can't understand that Dafka, in the time of Rabin, so much developed in Yehuda and Shomron. The point is that we never stop working. When it is more difficult to build new units, then we improvise kinds of buildings that are not maybe the most beautiful in their look, but they enable us to absorb more and more families. We take the big buildings, we divided them into units, more families join. And as a person who has a lot of experience with meeting people from both sides of right and left, I can tell you that we very often meet ministers and members of Knesset who are from the left side or the mild left side of the political map, and they want to help us the pioneers. Why? Because it always brings to them this maybe archaic sensation that it's good to be loyal to Eretz Israel. It's good to be loyal to everything, the title of which is Israel. So they love us, even if they are from the other side of the political map. I can just tell you, I want to tell you openly that Danny Danon asked me Friday what to tell to the people here. I know you, he doesn't know you so well. Some of you he does. So I said, tell them good stories. I want to adopt the same thing and to tell you good stories. Sometimes when you meet people from the left side, then you tell stories of pioneering, how we started here, how we lived in a tent, and now my grandchildren. Just last Shabbat, I saw my granddaughter living here in Kedumim, in the center of Shomron, in a small caravan, and another granddaughter of mine on a high hill in Eli with a little actually my grandchild living on a high hill in Eli. And I bring these stories to the politicians, and it moves, it touches a chord in their hearts. So the reason I'm saying all this now is I cannot know what the results will be. I hope, I pray, I work. We all Nachala members really are all, we have mobilized all our powers in order to enable the success of the right wing. At the same time, I prepare myself and we prepare ourselves for the option that maybe there will be another political combination. Shall we despair? No, we will mobilize all our abilities, all our experience. And as we did in the past 50 years, 55 years since the 6-day war, we moved from one station to the other, always with another success, with another victory. This is why across the Green Line, there live close to 900,000 Jews. We are nearing the million. In the settlements, 500,000. And then in the neighborhoods of the eastern part of Jerusalem, hundreds of thousands of Jews. So things are improving. And I pray for a right-wing success. I pray that God will give us the koach, the ability, with your help. When I say your, I mean also Jews abroad have the ability to influence what we do here in Israel and what the government does here in Israel. So toda rabba for your attention, and together the Jewish nation will work to strengthen the standing and the development and in the heart of Eretz Israel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniela, for your inspired and encouraging word, really. And if someone wants to...
Lital, 1 second. I just want to know if it was encouraging for you too.
It was.
Okay.
Definitely it was.
Okay.
And if someone want to ask one question before we moving to the next stage of our meeting, we will meet and listen stories from the families that are part from those new Yeshuvim. But if someone want to ask one question now, we can do one question. So please unmute yourself and...
Okay, let's see.
Okay. So you know what? Let's do question in the end. So just over a year ago, Nachalav movement established the Yishuv Evyatar, a new Yishuv in the Shomron after 20 years of Yishuvim not having been established. Evyatar was in the headline and of tremendous interest to the citizens of Israel and abroad. It was clear that the people are thirsting for such a development. Over 100,000 people visited Evyatar in space of just 2 months. Because of this incredible public and political support, the government was forced to recognize Evyatar and reach an agreement. Today, the army is there, and there was agreement that yeshiva will be established there in the near future. To date, Benny Gantz has not kept his word. However, Bibi said just last week in a meeting with us that he would honor Gantz's agreement. 3 months ago, Nachala created an initiative to establish new Yeshuvim. It was not a single issue that we aim to establish, rather many Yeshuvim in Yehuda and Shomron, to create awareness that it is possible and to put it onto the political agenda. On the 21st of Tammuz, July 20, over 10,000 people participate in the initiative and lead the establishment of new Yeshuvim and active Garinim, cores of groups that are actively developing their settlement point. We have a unique opportunity to meet with some of the pioneers of 2022 who are living in the they living the pioneer dream, and others who are preparing for this big moment. I would like to invite Malkiel Barchai, his family was one of the first family from Evyatar. Malkiel, please unmute yourself. And we also will show some picture while Malkiel will tell us.
Hi, everyone. It's good morning or good evening. Some of you guys.
Oops.
Uh,
Our reception, Malkiel, your reception not so good. Maybe we can improve it a bit.
He's in the Golan. What do you mean? It's far. It's far. It's very far from Australia.
Yes, so I'll introduce myself. My name is Malkiel Bar-Chai. I live in Ramat HaGolan. And like
Malkiel, maybe try to turn off your camera. Sometimes it's improved.
we had gorgeous children. Some of the feelings, yes.
We don't hear you well. Maybe turn off your camera. Sometimes it make the reception a bit better. So maybe it will help.
Okay, is this better?
Let's try. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. So I wanted to share a bit of the how did it feel like to be.
Lital, change the order of things. Maybe find a way to reconnect.
Okay. Yeah.
Try and reconnect. Okay, I'll try again.
Yes.
I'll connect soon.
Yeah. So you know what?
I'll try through a computer. In a couple of minutes, I'll be on.
Okay. So meanwhile, I want to invite Tanya Biar. She is part of Gar'in Avishai in Yehuda, and she will tell us her point of view. Tanya?
Hi everyone.
Shalom, Tanya.
Hear me good? Hear me well?
Yes.
Nice seeing you all. So I'm Tanya. I live with my husband and family in Har Hebron over 10 years. As those before me said, sorry about my English. I know it's not perfect, but we're gonna try. Anyways, so we go on the roads and we see every day, we see the Arabs just spread hill after hill and valley after valley. Every day and night, all days of the week, Shabbases, and we see that all the time, and it's amazing, the bad way of amazing, how it's so organized, and you see it's all the allowance and budgets that are behind all this expending of the Arabs near us. And sometimes it seems like it's non-stoppable. It's like it is what it is, but we know it could be stopped and it has to be stopped. And just like a little anecdote, a little example, near our yeshuv where we live, there's this nice little hilltop that people go walking there and jogging there, pull up the car, do a little picnic. And a few weeks ago, it's a story that's now being done. The Arabs just came and spilled their garbage and trash, and we were like, that's stinky and not nice at all. What are they doing? And a few days later, there was like a garbage room. Not that they put in that garbage, but they just built another room. And a few days later, there's a tent. And a few days later, there's a little house. And a few days later, there's like a gate that's there on the path. And it's like, hello, this hill is ours. And we're like, what is going on? We're still shocked. We're still very, very frustrated. And it makes me think this situation is just one example that's going on now, but it's really only an example. The things, it feels like they're going over and over again. Some we see, some we don't even see, we don't even know. Are us little that not everything we see on the road we pass, and not everything we know exactly what's whose, but it's unbelievable how things work or don't work. And it makes me think, what would our leaders than our real leaders, what would have they done in such situations? And I feel also we're not alone in this, and we didn't we didn't pick this up. Yeah, exactly. We are part of all chain, generation chain that comes from Avraham Avinu and Am Israel and our fathers and great grandfathers, and we're here to continue this. So when I think what would have they done, so it makes me think that I have to get up on my comfortable couch and my beautiful home and the beautiful view and be there. I just have no choice. It's like I really have to be there. I want to be there. I want to be part of this big thing that's happening here. And I'm willing to move out with my family and kids from our comfortable, neat home into dust and dirt and heat and cold and whatever would come to be part of this big thing that's going on in our precious holy land. And I want to be part of this chapter that is written right now in these days, and that's part of all our history. And more than that, we don't need the Arabs to remind us it's our land, it's my land, that God promised and gave us as a gift. We need to remember that ourselves and kiss every rock and feel at home every place and go free wherever our legs take us. And thank you so much for everyone for being part, and thank you for these few minutes.
Your English is beautiful, your work is excellent.
Thank you.
Tanya, love you.
All right, I think we will do question in the end. And thank you, Tanya. It's very special to hear your point of view on the thing. And Malkiel Bach, I just you're here with us again. So I do hope the reception now will be a bit better. Malkiel, let's try.
Let's try it out. I'm on the computer. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, okay, very good. So I was just starting to say a little background about Evyatar, and then I'll share with you my personal view and how did it feel from the eyes of a family to be up there in the mountains. So Evyatar was named after Evyatar Borovsky, probably been told already by Daniela and Lital. He was murdered in Tzomet Tapuach 9 years ago. Back then, there was a group of families that tried to go up and settle the place in his name. They didn't succeed. And a few years later, another group tried again, and they hit a strong resistance of the government, and neither did they succeed. We've been working for the last couple of years on Evyatar, trying to bring it back. We had campings out in the night. We did Lag BaOmer, we slept out. In Hanukkah, we did candle lighting. And Tu B'Shvat, we planted trees. We kind of had a lot of activities from time to time just to bring it up to the being talked about and being known. Unfortunately, like Tanya mentioned, when Arabs make terror attacks, it kind of triggers us to move forward. And Yehuda Guetta was murdered in Tzomet Tapuach in a terror attack. And the same night, we decided to come together the groups that tried to initiate the settlement in Evyatar, and we all got up. It was a plain mountainside, was nothing there, no electricity, no water, nothing. And just in one night, half a dozen tents showed up on the mountainside. And then, and we need to understand the time. Back then, there was a lot of things going around in the country, and things were very unsure. We didn't know what's going to be the next day, because until then, every time we went up, we had resistance, and after a short time, we had to come back down. So we didn't get any resistance, and families were just starting to come one after another. The first week, all of us were in tents. We were sleeping in sleeping bags on the holy land, on Eretz Yisrael HaKdosha. Yeah, Lital is showing the picture, so you can see the picture on the bottom. You see the car parking, and just a couple of tents. There's a cement where there used to be an army base 30 years ago. And this is how it started, the first few days. The pictures above, you can see it's already the second week, because from every day to the second, we were serious about making this a yeshuv and making this a settlement, and we were just putting all of our effort into expanding and building. And the more we got into it, the more it got bigger, and we had more facilities. And so you can see the pictures above. You can see those are wooden houses, no roofs, just a plain covering just against the sun. It's cold up there in the mountain, and it wasn't in the summer, but still the nights are very cold. So Lital, maybe you can move on with the pictures, and we can see as we went along. Okay, so this picture, this is a great picture where you can see already we had tractors coming and concrete poured down, and things were starting to escalate very fast. As a family, I have my own business in Ramat Golan, and my wife Ada, she's a teacher, and we had 7 kids back then. We have 8 now. So yeah, the little A was in the belly. My wife had a big belly. She did all the working around with a big belly. I kind of had to come back and forth almost every other day. I kind of came in the evening, slept over the night, and in the morning went back to Ramat Golan. Ada was a teacher, so she kind of left her students, and from distance was telling them what to study. And when they had exams, she went over. Our kids left school. They left the school, so we kind of tried to maintain a learning atmosphere. But as you can see, the picture above, it was more like a picnic park. You know, a lot of happening all the time. All the time, people coming around. Can you ask kids to do homework?
We said that the 100,000 people came in 2 months, so they came to all the different.
Well, yeah. Well, so yeah, you can see it was great. It was living in a atmosphere of Zionism, an atmosphere of Geulah, and we can feel as if we were. I'm sure that's the feelings that they had 80 years ago as a Zionists when they came up to the country, and that's a feeling that they're building Eretz Yisrael from Israel. So, Ital, could you just scroll back a second? As a picture, you can see where the beginning. So. The third week, we had already a concrete house and blokim. The next one, please. You can see it was just a simple house. Some are caravans. Lital, go forward, please. I want to see where we're sleeping. We have you see the blokim is being built by Am Yisrael, the teenagers. They just came. They worked day and night. There were teams of working that didn't sleep. So you can see this is a kindergarten trying to maintain a routine. A picture before, I just want to point out that Lital, can you scroll just one back? That's it. That's okay. Look on the left, on the top, you can see 2 small kids in bathing. They're taking a shower. So there's a toilet, but it's not connected to anything. The real toilet is on the left. It's an organic bathroom, and we just had water. At first, we had a jerry can. We used to bathe. Here's a picture on the bottom. A girl is washing the dishes. So that's my older daughter. She's washing breakfast. Apparently, maybe it's, I don't know what is at lunch. Behind her, you see a man standing with his back and holding a yellow jerry can. That was our water source. So we filled up the water in the main water and walked 200 meters, and we drank from it. We bathed in it. We brushed our teeth from it, and just doing that back and forth. And as we went along, we got better and better conditions. But at first, this is it. You see the picture of the family standing in the doorways. Those are my parents. They came to visit. This is our house. In the house, it was approximately 17 meters for everyone together. So, Lital, could you scroll back again? You can see them all, the kids sleeping bundled. So this is it. You see all the kids, a picture on the left and the top. I count 4 or 5 kids. I don't know where the 2 others sleeping. This is a sleeping bedroom. Nothing at all. Beside and on the bottom, another picture that they're kind of having fun, making pitot, making activities. That's my big boy in the middle. He had because I wasn't there in the daytime. They came only at night. So he was the man of the house. He was cooking and making and everything that needs to be built, he did it instead of me. So you can see as though the conditions were hard. We don't even have mattresses. They're sleeping on blankets, covered in blankets, but everyone is smiling. Everyone is smiling. It was a great.
But it looked like very quickly your condition became better, right?
Yeah, well, you can see. Yeah, you can see the picture was they're standing, smiling. Yeah, the first picture there was a sheet as a door. The second picture there's a real door, and the conditions. People came and helped. People came and helped. People came and built. A cousin came and built a window. A friend came and built a sink. Another people just came and saw my wife in their conditions. So they brought mattresses and folding beds because they said you need to sleep like human beings. So it was very special. It wasn't easy, but having people coming and supporting and joining the cause, even though they didn't stay a night, they kind of said, wow, this is it, and you're doing what's good for Am Yisrael. And that gave us a lot of support, and Tzidkat HaDerech made us, it strengthened our belief that this is it, this is what needs to be done. So you can see a great shacharit, hundreds of people. It was amazing, and people of all types, all over the country came.
Malkiel, thank you. I want to ask you. What happened that you took this brave decision? When you have comfortable life, you both have proper jobs and kids and community and beautiful home, and to take this decision to agree to move to such a basic condition and to be ready to do it. Why? What was the main reason that pushed you to this?
Well, now that you asked it like that, I kind of feel I never asked myself that, because it was so obvious that we're joining. It's so obvious that once we're going up to Yehuda, we're there. It doesn't matter the lack of conditions, and it doesn't matter that it kind of swivels all our life around, but this is what Israel needs most, and the need is so big, and unfortunately people are there in the initiative. As the success came on, more and more people joined. But at the beginning, like you saw the first pictures, it wasn't even half a dozen tents. It was just a few families, and which we had the honor to be part of them, and the honor to be working with Daniela Weiss and with Lital for more than almost 15 years. So it was kind of obvious that everything that has to do with Binyan Eretz Yisrael, we're there. Doesn't matter the conditions, but we tried along making it easier. We had support from our families, support from our friends, helping around, but Eretz Yisrael calls you, and the feeling is that the more you give to Eretz Yisrael, is the more you actually get back. So I hope I kind of answered that.
Malkiel, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And it's really inspiring. And we have also with us Nadav Zak. Nadav is also one of first families in a new issue, and he and his wife were the head of one of the Garinim, those core groups of families that lead establishing new issue, and he will share us about their place. It's called Oriad, and what was their process and what also brought them to take this decision. Nadav.
Hey, hello everybody. My name is Nadav Zak. My wife is Arbel. I work in a section that's called the occupational health in the Israeli industry. And today I live in Oriad. It's near Kdumim, in the hills northwest to Kdumim, very close to Shechem. That in this parasha we'll read about Avraham that walked near there. The idea of Oriad came up 2 years ago that we see the brutal building of the Palestinians around us that are building and building, and the Kdumim is it's very static, and we can do and we can't do anything about this. So we think some families get around and they thought what we can do. And the idea of building a new settlement near Kdumim came up. And at first we do a lot of lobbying in the people of Kdumim. We talk about it, we do in our living room and the other living rooms in the Kdumim. And then we bring tractors to open a road. You can see in the pictures, maybe one more. Okay, in this you can see the tractor are pave a new road to this hill. And after this, in the night, we bring 3 trucks with a caravan, a little house. You can see in the pictures. It was in Tuesday, in the night of Tuesday, and it was very thrilling to everybody that been in this night in Riyadh.
I also can see when I saw the tractor walking, I saw that there is raining. So yes. I understand that those family entered in the middle of the rain to such a basic condition, Adam.
So I will speak about the challenge that we came. At first, electricity, it was winter. We came on the ground 1 week after Hanukkah last year. And we don't have electricity. How we can warm the families? So we bring a generator, and it was very difficult to generate it with this, to fill it with solar in the night, and the water. We bring a tank of water, not warm water. It was very cold. It was very challenging for us and the kids. And Lital talk about the mud. It was very muddy all the place. You can תעברי שקופית אחת אחורה. One more. At the first. Yes. One more. Okay. This is the one day after we bring the caravans to the ground. It was very difficult, but the kids, we have 6 kids. I don't spoke about it. It was very difficult, but the kids was loved in this place, and they don't want to came home to our own to our house in Kdumim. They don't want to stay in Riyadh. From then, we bring 2 caravans, and now we are 5 families in Riyadh. And a few months ago, we built a new synagogue in the place, and we put in a Sefer Torah in the synagogue. Last week, we plant a little forest with 40 trees. And a lot of people in Kdumim came and celebrate with us the new planting. If you have questions?
They have plenty of questions.
What I think it's you have so many special moments to tell. Maybe you can share with us one special moment that you stood there and you tell yourself, I'm part of that big thing.
A special moment.
I can say that I have a picture of you with one of your daughters in Chanukah Bet HaKnesset, and when I saw your daughter's eyes, how they were with such a strong light when she looked on the shul and she on your shoulders, and maybe something from.
Yes, the synagogue was. We are building the synagogue with a lot of youth that came up and helped us to build it. All the kids, you know, every Saturday we are making a prayer, shacharit, in the synagogue, and a lot of time my kids came and pray with us, and it symbolized the connection to also the people in Kdumim. People of Kdumim came to Oriad and משלימים לנו מניין.
They come to fill minyan. Yep.
So it's a symbol, the connection to the old Kdumim, you know, the people of Kdumim that came, and also the new and the new in Oriad. The התחדשות.
Daniela, maybe from your point of view, the person that start Kdumim from nothing, and today Kdumim such a big and flourishing place, and when you look on Oriad, what's going on in your mind?
I have a question afterwards.
Yeah, we will do a question in the end. Thank you, Sean.
Different. When I came to Kdumim almost 50 years ago, 50 years, you can believe me or not, one thing visit my mind. Nadav, I must tell you, and I didn't care that I didn't wash my kids for weeks. My husband asked me when do you wash the kids? I said, in the winter, there is no need to wash the kids. And none of these things ever visit my mind. One thing, shall we be able, will it be possible to pass the torch of pioneering to the coming generation? I wouldn't go into the depth of the worry in this direction. It was connected with the crisis in the kibbutzim. I was praying, and I am still praying, that God will give us the strength to educate, to pass the torch to the coming generation, to our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, so it will never stop. And when I see Nadav, and I see Tanya, and I see Adar from the Golan Heights, Barchai family, and the other families, pure idealists. I say, God, thank you for being so good to me, that my prayers, my personal prayers, which are actually prayers of Am Israel, that we pass this love for the land of Israel for one generation to the other. This is why I often say that I feel I live another chapter in the Bible. We prayed, and we see the young ones with the eyes that you mentioned, with the light in the eyes. This is the proof that no matter what politicians will do, the power, the strength, the inner strength of Am Israel is always there and continues from one generation to the other. So I tell you, thank you, the Zak family, thank you, the Barchai family, thank you, Tanya, thank you all Nachala members, that you give the older generation the strength to help the young ones continue the good work of Zionism. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you, friends, for listening to this story of Zionism, another chapter in Zionism that we all share, and that we all get strength from and give strength to. Toda rabba.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you very much, Nadav. And Daniela talked about the young generation, but to this important mission, we have partnering from different ages and different culture and from all different people from all over. And we have also today Moshe Bolodowski, who is our last person, family that will speak, because we said it will be 1 hour Zoom. But I do want to ask for Moshe, that he's part of the Garin in Gush Etzion, to share with us what brought them, he and his wife, that already have next generation after them, also in their stage of life, to join into these incredible things. Thank you, Moshe. Please turn. We cannot hear you. Moshe, you need to unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, thank you.
Very good.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I was born and raised in Soviet Union. I'm 59 years old today. We left Russia in 1979, and we came to America, where it was the first time that I met with Judaism, with knowing what Judaism is about, with studying, with learning. And because in Russia, we didn't know anything aside from the fact that we were Jews. But what it meant, we didn't know anything. As I started learning, I quickly realized how important Eretz Yisrael was within Judaism in general. And I also realized that Eretz Yisrael, aside from being a tremendous gift and chesed from Hashem that he gave us, it is also an obligation for us to live there. So I decided in 1986 to come to Israel and try to live here. I was single back then, it was easier. So that's what I did. And once I came to Israel, I realized that if I wanted to fulfill the mitzvah of settling and living in the land, the best place to do that, the most important place to do that back then, as it is now, was in Judea and Samaria. So I have been in the area since 1986, and I was zochet to participate in establishing another Jewish presence in a different Jewish area in Shomron. At this point in time, we're both, my wife and I, Neta and I, we are young, 59 years young I am today. And I have a house, Neta has a house. We're comfortable. We have 7 children. We have 5 grandchildren. But at the same time, driving through the areas, looking at what's going on around us, we both realized that the war for establishment of the Jewish state, for the continued existence of the Jewish state, has not stopped. The Arabs have a plan. They're implementing it stage by stage, and it's just another form of war, which is no less effective than the war with bullets and guns. So when Neta and I spoke about it, we were a little bit concerned about our own strength and energies in getting involved in another project, which we know already, living in tents without water, without electricity. And at this stage in life, we thought twice, but after thinking twice, we decided that we're going to do it anyway. We approached Nahala, and at that point, there was no Garin and Gush Etzion, so we decided to spearhead and start the Garin and Gush Etzion. And thank God, Baruch Hashem, we were joined by a tremendous group of people, both young, younger, and as young as us, who are determined people who went out on the 21st of Tammuz in the heat of the summer, young families, people with little children, women who were in their 9 months of pregnancy, came out with tents, without mattresses, who were willing to go out and see this very, very vital project happen. We are determined to continue. We are happy that we have people like Daniela, who is stirring us in the right direction, who is leading us. And we're very much hoping that all of you, everywhere in the world, all the Jews can join us, help us, give us a hand, each one in his own way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Moshe. I saw that Sharon Abadi asked to ask a question. So Sharon, if you can unmute yourself. And meanwhile, I want to thank Moshe again. I think it's very special, especially for me as younger, to see that this demand and this important mission is something that we can see that everyone take part of it, never mind what your age, which background you come, never mind where you live in Israel or overseas. Each and every one of us can take his decision and to join and participate, and it's very, very special. So Sharon, your question.
Thank you. Because my question is like this: I see a very beautiful teamwork here, where you and Daniela go on the political development side, and all those families are going with their bodies. And now people that are living in the big cities or even outside of Israel, how do you see? I mean, what is the best? How can we be the third pillar in this partnership?
Oh, very good. Sharon, you go high.
Please, Daniela.
I follow my leaders.
Okay, we'll get the answer from the audience.
Yes, Daniela, please.
What do you say, Lital?
I said that Sharon asked from you to answer the question. So
Ask me. I thought she asked the third pillar. Sharon, be specific.
I'm asking everyone who wants to speak. I want to know how can we get involved more and more?
You asked, okay. So I think it's also bringing us also to the end because, the main idea of what we do is to create very, very strong demand and public support and political support that will go hand by hand with those pioneer families and youngest and old people and everyone that are willing to come and live and establish new place. But we understand that we need to combine those two strong things. We need strong steps of pioneers that going to the hilltop and establishing the places. And we also need strong support. And here, each and every one of us can enter to the picture and to take part in this. And as we heard, everyone that we heard talking now from those family, they have their own story, but there is a common thread. Each of those people are very, very committed. They want to build Eretz Israel and be part of the growth of the Jewish homeland. And we are now just a few days before election. And this is a perfect time for the public, for us, to influence the policy of the Israeli government. And we need a strong leadership that will be able to stand the pressure and to keep the future and safety of the Jewish nation in the Jewish homeland. Leadership gets its power from us, from the Jewish nation in Israel and from Jewish communities all over the world. This is why we depend on each and every one of us. In one of our meetings with Yuli Edelstein of the Likud party, so he told us that they have great pressure put on them from left organization and outside government. And it's not easy, we all know. But he said to us, we need you to help us by creating pressure from the other side. And as a moment, we decide to put strong pressure to help government to keep the land. And to only together, if each and every one of us do what he can do, and each and every one of us can take part in what he's doing, and we all can be ambassador to this important cause. And it's some people can be able to come and to live in a new place. Some can be ambassador in all the media system today and write and to talk and do more PR and to explain about why Yehuda and Shomron it's so important, why we should come back to build new Yeshuvim. And some people can be part in land redemption, to buy land in Yehuda and Shomron. And some people can organize their community to show support, public support, and also to press on all the Knesset member in Israel. And when they see that there is strong demand from different community all over the world and from communities here from Israel, they understand that this is something the whole Jewish nation want and expect for them to do. And each and every one of us need to be ambassador for this. And together we really make the next, create and write in our hand the next chapter of the history. And I want to thank you, all of you, to join us today. And I do calling you, like Sharon said, take part. See where you can put yourself in, where you, in what are you good, which connection you have, and where you can put yourself inside of this very, very important activity. And we ask you to be ambassador for Eretz Israel, for Yehuda and Shomron. And then thank you very much for to be here with us today. And I wish you all good day or good night if you're in Australia. And later.
Gila will finish. Shalom, shalom.
Thank you very much. And we'll be in touch.
Tודה רבה. We'll be in touch.